Hello everyone and welcome to this week's video. If you somehow don't know, or if you're new here, in the past 3 years, being a reader has become my entire personality. So today I thought it would be fun to share some of my tips and tricks on how I went from reading maybe 3 books a year to reading over 100 for the past 2 going on to 3 years. Now before we get started, I do need to add this little super important disclaimer. This video is not meant for you to compare yourself to me or to absolutely anyone else. Everybody's situation is different, and if you're here because you feel like you need to do more or keep up with people that you're seeing online, stop it. Take a deep breath, give yourself a pat on the back because you're doing a freaking fantastic job already, and remember that your enjoyment of reading is what makes you a reader. Now let's get started. To set the scene, it's May 2020, the panini is in full swing, no one's allowed to leave their house, and I am desperately wanting an escape. I got this flashback to when my aunt told me that she was reading a lot of good books for free by borrowing them digitally from her library. So I Googled my local library, I signed up for a new card, I downloaded the Overdrive app, and honestly, my life changed. Sounds dramatic, but also very true. If you want to start reading more, I think the library is the best place to start because you're able to basically sample a bunch of different books without any cost to yourself. And nowadays you can do it without even having to leave your house. The time that you're given to read the books that you check out varies depending on your library. My library does 14 days for each checkout, and it is kind of confusing because even though the book is digital, the library only has a certain amount of copies that it can check out at once. So there are still wait lists and holds. I would say that that's the only downside. A little sneaky tip, if you look into the policy for the libraries in cities close to you, some libraries will allow you to have accounts with them even though you're from a different city, so that way you're able to get a wider range of books. The best part about all of this is that you get to download the digital books directly onto your phone, and also if you have a Kindle, you can download the books onto your Kindle. And again, who doesn't love free things, right? Speaking of free, another really great option, especially if you're always on the go, Kindle Unlimited is a really great option. This is not sponsored, and there are a lot of other subscription services that are available, but Kindle Unlimited is the only one that I've used. Now, this is technically not always free, but if you're just getting into reading and you decide that you want to try it out, I just want more people to know to never settle for the 1 month free option. As soon as you download Overdrive or Libby, or even start following people on social media who do book content, there is a very high chance you're going to start getting ads from Kindle Unlimited. I would wait for those ads. I did end up getting one of the free trials from the specials on Instagram. So I got 2 months free, and then when I went to cancel my subscription after the 2 months, when it asked me why I was leaving, I clicked the too expensive option. It gave me another 3 months for only $1.99. There are also a ton of independent authors who have their books on Kindle Unlimited, and I know that they get paid per page read. Not only are you getting these books and reading them essentially for free, you're also supporting an independent author. Win-win. Now, the section of Kindle Unlimited that I wish I had known about sooner is the Kindle Unlimited books with the Audible narration. You can download the audiobook and it'll show you exactly where you are in your book and it'll read it to you. I never thought that I would be an audiobook person. I'm a visual learner and I have ADHD, so I just never gave audiobooks a shot. But one, there is a whole art behind it with the voice actors, and also the speed button changed my life. Sometimes I'll make it faster, sometimes I'll make it slower, just depending on the day and depending on my mental capacity. I always make it at least 1.5. If I start there, it allows my brain to switch and I'm able to start visualizing everything that's happening, kind of like if I'm watching a movie or if I'm physically reading a book. Audible Premium also has a free trial. Again, don't settle for the 1 month. I just finished getting 3 months of Audible Premium for free, and I got the credits that come with those months. And I love it because I'm still being productive. If I need to clean, I just pop on an audiobook. If I'm driving somewhere, put on an audiobook. If you don't want to leave the world that you're in, you don't have to, because you can be a functioning human being while still reading. If you're always on the go, definitely try out ebooks, definitely try out audiobooks. Even if you think that you can't do them, give it a shot. Audiobooks have definitely helped me up my reading count. Don't mind me just casually showing off my book collection. So you have access to all of these books, but there are so many. Where are you supposed to start? If you don't want to listen to any of my other tips, that's fine. But this is the most important one. You have to find your genre. It may seem obvious, but the difference between you reading 100 books and reading 0 books is whether or not you're genuinely enjoying what you're reading. Once I stopped focusing so much on what other people thought that I should be reading, the classics, I was able to read so much more. Think about the kind of movies and TV shows that you like to watch. If you're a big fan of horror movies, try the horror genre. Try the thriller genre. If you like wholesome coming-of-age stories, try YA books. Along those lines, also figure out what kind of reader you are. If you're the kind of person who needs structure, who doesn't want to think about what your next read is, because that part takes more time than actually reading the books does, you can always try out making TBRs at the beginning of the month. Plan out, I want to read these 5 books this month. And if you get to all of them, great. If you don't, also great. Or if you're like me and the book that you read next is based solely on your ever-changing mood, that's perfectly fine as well. Even if what you want to read one day is not what you want to read the next day, and then you start both books and it takes you longer to finish them both, that's totally fine. There are no rules on what you should and shouldn't be reading and when you should or shouldn't be reading them. Reading is supposed to be fun, and it's something that is purely for you. So don't let anybody else's judgments, or maybe even your own judgments, take any of the fun out of the experience. Since getting back into reading, my favorite part has actually been the community that I found because of it. I remember when I was younger, I used to read a book and get so excited about it, and I would beg my sister to read it also so that I would have someone to talk to about it. And my sister never reacted as strongly as I did, which is fine. I'm just a very emotional person. And now, thanks to social media, I have found a whole community of people who are just as emotional as I am. So not only am I able to be emotional and share in the excitement of new releases and crazy plot twists that we weren't expecting, that's also where I get the majority of my book recommendations from. When you find a group of creators who enjoy the same kinds of stories as you, you're able to find a whole bunch of books that you might not have either known about or picked up otherwise, whether that be because you just didn't hear about it or maybe you judged the cover too harshly. We all do it. Now, if you're looking for that community, of course, you can always follow me. All of my links are in the description box always. But also, if our genres aren't the same, if you don't vibe with my content, that's totally cool. I think the easiest way to find creators that you vibe with is to search the tags for your favorite author or your favorite genre and just look through all of the posts under those tags, and you're bound to find people that you vibe with. Now, of course, you don't have to actually talk to anyone. You could always just follow their accounts, like their content, take the recommendations, and go. For me, the friendships that I have created by commenting on other people's stories and posting about books that I like and talking to people in the comments, those friendships have added an extra level of enjoyment for me when I'm reading, because I know that I have people that I can share in the excitement with. Like with any other hobby, it really comes down to just making time for it and being okay with doing what you can. It's not a competition, no matter how much the Goodreads reading challenge makes it feel like it is. I've gotten into the habit of carrying a book with me no matter where I go, whether that be on my phone or a physical book. Most of the time it's both. But it's really come in handy whenever I get random moments of time that I wasn't expecting, where typically I would probably be scrolling through my phone trying not to make eye contact with strangers. Now, instead, I can read my book to try to not make eye contact with strangers. I've also tried to implement reading time into my nightly routine as well. It doesn't make me sleepy, and a lot of times I will stay up way too late reading because sometimes the book is just so good and you don't realize how much time passes until the sun starts coming up. Not that that has happened to me. Some days are busier than others, and some days I don't get to it, but honestly, it's one of my favorite moments of my day, and I look forward to getting in bed and reading from the moment that I wake up in the morning. Is that healthy? So those are some of the things that I have done to increase my reading count throughout the past couple of years. I love reading so much, and I want as many people to enjoy as many stories as possible. So I hope that this helped. If you have any tips that I didn't mention in this video, please feel free to comment them so we can all just help each other out. Oh, and if you made it this far into the video, comment either what you're currently reading or the book that you are most looking forward to reading, and we can just start a little recommendation chain in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you don't miss a Friday upload. All 3 of those things also really help support my channel, so I very much appreciate it. And now I'm gonna go enjoy my favorite part of the day / night, and I will see you guys all in next week's video. Bye!